Hey everyone, so today we are stepping into the mind of an athlete to talk about one of the toughest battles anyone ever has to face. And look, this isn't about physical strength or how good your strategy is. This is all about conquering that opponent that lives right inside your own head. So let me just ask you this straight up. In any sport, at any level, who or what is the single biggest opponent an athlete ever goes up against? You think it's the other team, the reigning champ, maybe the clock ticking down?
Well, the answer isn't out there on the field at all. Nope. It's right in here. It's that nagging voice in your head, that knot that ties up your stomach. It's the fear of failure. This is the real final boss for so many of us, not just in sports, but in pretty much everything.
All right, so first things first, let's actually defy our adversary here in Section 1, the unseen opponent, because, if you're going to beat something, you've got to understand what it is you're fighting.
Let's get really clear on what this fear actually is. Because it's not just about getting butterflies before a big game. No way. It's this deep, paralyzing belief that you just aren't good enough. This is exactly why a basketball player might hesitate on a wide-open, game-winning shot, or why a runner tenses up right at the finish line. It's basically self-sabotage, and it's born from this really deep-seated doubt.
So, where does this even come from? Is it some kind of personal weakness or a character flaw? Absolutely not. It's actually a totally natural instinct. Let's dig into that in Section 2, Your Brain on Defense.
So check this out. Fear is really just a survival mechanism. Your brain spots a high-stakes situation, say the championship game. It then perceives a threat. Now, it's not a threat to your life, but a threat to your self-image, your ego. What happens if I mess this up? So to protect you from that potential pain, it hits the big red button and activates fear. And the crazy, tragic irony here is that this very protection is what paralyzes you with doubt and often causes the exact failure it was trying to prevent. Wild, right?
Now you might be sitting there thinking, okay, sure, this is something amateurs deal with. But here's the thing. This opponent, it doesn't care who you are. It goes after everyone, even the absolute legends of the game. Which brings us to Section 3, When a Legend Doubted.
Just take a second. Read those words on the screen. I thought about quitting football. Can you imagine the sheer weight of that statement? The level of doubt and pressure someone must be under to even consider walking away from the thing they love most.
So who said that? A college player who didn't get drafted? A pro athlete in a slump? No, those are the words of a young Lionel Messi. Yeah, one of the greatest athletes to ever grace this planet seriously thought about quitting because the fear was just that powerful.
I mean, from the time he was just a kid, Messi was called a prodigy, a genius. And with that label came this unimaginable mountain of expectations. That pressure just fed his fear of not living up to the hype, making him feel so overwhelmed that walking away felt like the only way out. So if it can happen to him, it can happen to any of us.
Okay, so here's the real turning point. If the GOAT himself felt this way, how do we fight back? This is where we shift from just talking about the problem to finding the solution. Let's get into the game plan. Section 4, How to Challenge Fear.
I love this because it shows you exactly what's happening inside your head. It's a battle of two voices. On one shoulder, you've got the voice of doubt, whispering, "What if I fail?" But on the other, you've got the voice of courage asking, "Yeah, but what if I succeed?" The secret isn't silencing the doubt. That's pretty much impossible. The trick is to crank up the volume on courage. It's a conscious choice, in those make-or-break moments, about which voice you're going to listen to.
And here it is, your practical 4-step game plan. First, you've got to acknowledge the fear. Don't fight it. Don't pretend it's not there. Just name it. Okay, I'm feeling nervous right now. Saying it out loud robs it of its power. Second, reframe failure. It's not the end of the world. It's just feedback. It's data. It's information you can use to get better next time. Third, focus. Forget about the final score. Forget about the trophy. Focus only on what you can control right now. Your breathing, your technique, your very next move. And finally, number 4, act. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's doing the thing anyway. You build that courage muscle through small, brave actions over and over again.
So this all brings us to the big why. Why go through all this tough mental work? What's the real reward for facing down this huge internal opponent? Let's find out in our final section, The Other Side of Fear.
Man, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? Everything you want, your potential, your biggest goals, your greatest achievements, it's all waiting for you. It's just behind that wall of fear. Beating that internal opponent isn't just about winning one game. It's about unlocking the absolute best version of yourself.
So I'm going to leave you with this one last question to really chew on. That goal you're chasing, that big challenge you're facing, in sports, at work, whatever it is, what is actually waiting for you on the other side of your fear? Because getting there, well, that might just be the most important win you'll ever get. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.